Today we're making chimichurri. Chimichurri is a sauce from Argentina that is traditionally used as a marinade and condiment for grilled meats, but it's delicious with all manner of other foods, including black beans, fried or roasted potatoes, and fish. And it's simple and quick to make. So let's get cooking. Traditionally, chimichurri is made by finely chopping all of the ingredients or using a molcajete. But I want this in a hurry, so I am going to use my trusty food processor to make this task go by super quick. So we'll start with a shallot. This is a fairly sizable shallot, or if you don't have that, you can use a quarter of a medium or large onion. Anything in that family will work fine, even shallots or green onions in a pinch. All right, and I'm just cutting this into rough chunks because we'll let the food processor do the rest of the work. I'm gonna put that in along with 4 or 5 cloves of garlic, just peel them and that's it. And pop those into the food processor as well. And we are going to give that a bit more of a chop, just until it doesn't have to be minced yet, but just into smaller pieces. Okay. About like so, if you can see that. And now we'll add our parsley. I have about a cup of parsley leaves. That's from roughly half a bunch of parsley. And when I say half a bunch, here's the other half of the bunch. All right, we'll put that into our food processor as well. Scrape down the sides a bit just so that there's not a bunch of shallot and garlic stuck there. And then we will give that a bit more of a chop until it is in pretty fine pieces. And so we'll do that by pulsing the food processor. Of course, you can just do this with a knife and a cutting board and a little bit of elbow grease as well. Quick note, I'm using dried oregano today because I don't have any fresh oregano on hand. If you were using fresh oregano, so I'll be using about a teaspoon of dried oregano. If you were using fresh oregano, you'd use about a tablespoon of oregano leaves, and those would go into the food processor after the parsley is chopped up a little bit. There we go. We have our shallot and garlic and parsley chopped pretty finely, and we will put all of that into a small bowl like so. Get this out of the way a little bit and simply add the rest of our ingredients, and those will be about a teaspoon aforementioned of oregano. And if you're using a dried herb, you want to kind of rub that between your fingertips to release some of the flavor in there. That'll help to make that dried herb as flavorful as you can get it. We also have a teaspoon of coarse salt, about a half a teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper, and I'd say a teaspoon and a half of crushed red pepper flakes. If you want to use whole dried pepper, like a dried cayenne pepper, you could break that up into chunks and then put that in the food processor when you put the parsley in. All right, so in those go. We'll give everything a quick stir and then add our liquid ingredients, which are about half a cup of olive oil. If you have a fairly decent olive oil on hand, it doesn't have to be anything crazy fancy. You could use it in here or really just the regular one you cook with. If you were using this for a marinade, you'd probably add a bit more of the liquid ingredients as relative to everything else. So keep everything the same except the olive oil. I'm gonna put a little bit more in red wine vinegar and lemon or lime juice. Right, so will look about like this. This is a sauce, so we definitely want a decent amount of liquid in it. Okay, we'll add about 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar, maybe just a little shy of that. Depends on how vinegary you like your condiments. If you don't like it to be quite as acidic, then ease up on that. You can always add more later to take it out. Give it a stir, and the juice of about half a lemon. I did pop the seeds out of this before juicing it, don't worry there, or 1 stray seed, or you could use lime instead, whatever you have on hand or prefer. All right. And again, if you like things a little more citrusy, you can opt for more lemon or lime and less vinegar. Totally up to you. And ta-da! There we have it. That is it. Our chimichurri is ready to go. We can refrigerate this in a jar, and it'll keep for a good couple of weeks, honestly, although the color of the herbs will fade a bit. You can also freeze this really well. In fact, you could even use an ice cube tray that you dedicate to things like this. And that's a great way to preserve it as well, especially if you say have a lot of parsley on hand. All right, so we hope that you give this a try and use it as a condiment, a marinade, whatever you like. Let us know if you do, and check back every Friday at 4 o'clock for a new recipe.